Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is NFP Live. except it's not NFP Live today. We've got a situation developing that is an interesting one. It's one that I haven't been faced with for a very long time. This goes back to the last government shutdown that occurred several years ago, where we're actually going to have an NFP number delayed. So let's get right out to this story. The live chat's blowing up, so I just want to address this right off the bat. We have a government shutdown here in the United States, and what that means is all your federal services, all of those services are offline, including the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So you're not going to have an NFP number drop today. We had everything prepared. We were going to talk jobs. We were going to talk economy. We were going to get in there and trade a little bit of the action. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that done. We're not going to get that done today. Why? Because the number is not going to come out. So you can see right here, government shutdown 2025. There's all sorts of speculation here. What we don't know is when it's going to be back online. Unfortunately, they have to cut a deal. The Republicans and the Democrats have to cut a deal. And in order for that to happen, somebody's going to have to make concessions. So this is where we stand right now. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is an official website of the United States government. These are the big-time jobs numbers. These are the ones that the feds, they measure. They do all of this stuff. They come up with these data points that I argue with pretty much every month. But you've got the suspension of federal government services, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The website is currently not being updated due to the suspension of federal government services. The last update to this site was Wednesday, October 1st. Updates to the site will start again when the federal government resumes operations. So there you have it, guys. That's NFP in a nutshell. It ain't happening today. The number's not going to drop. We still have some things we can go over, though, some trade updates. I'm willing to take any questions that you guys may want to throw my way, or at least some of them. I know we got just a jam-packed live chat right now, but a lot going on. I've got a US 100 update that I want to show you exactly what's happening in front of the 25,000 level. That's a big one. We've got a US dollar, Canadian dollar trade that's getting ready to go, and also our WTI crude oil bearish breakout. It looks to me like it's in full effect. Gold pulled back to 38%. We still have a great level to hit there in gold. So we've got a lot going on here. It is bright and early for me. Typically I'm up and I'm arguing with the jobs numbers and giving you guys the breakdown right now, but that's okay. We're going to be on our pins and needles, as they say, walking on eggshells until this number actually drops. And I don't know when that's going to be. No one does. But we have to be very, very diligent about our weekend news cycle. Now, if you're trading, okay, you're taking positions through the weekend. There's a couple of stories you need to be ready for. Number one is for a deal to be struck by the Republicans and the Democrats over the weekend. If that does happen, we're probably going to get an NFP release relatively quickly after that. Could be like a Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a Monday. They may drop it on Monday. I just don't know. Nobody knows right now. Now, the other is a military incursion against Venezuela. A lot of folks think that could be coming this weekend. That's going to drive the price of precious metals up in safe haven. So interesting stuff going on the weekend, guys, but we don't have an NFP number for you, so I just wanted to get right out in front of that. So welcome everybody in the live chat there. Luce, good to see you. Kigali, Marwa, let's see, Chidima, good to see you. Danny Bot's saying, hey, guys, do we have an NFP today? Where do you get your calendar from? Yeah, the calendar's not correct. Today we have a U.S. government shutdown, so there will be no more NFP. Not today, at least. Maybe next Friday, maybe next Monday, maybe next Tuesday. We don't know. We just don't know, and that's because the government is shut down. So let me see. Muhammad, I have a trade on gold. Is my trade safe? My position is a sell. Interesting question. I guess we could start the discussion there. Tokless, that's sad. I don't know if it's sad or not. It's just the way that business is, guys. Remember, as active traders, you just don't know what's going to happen at any given moment. Kiwi Pips, good to see you. Kiwi, welcome. Tuku, always a pleasure, guys. So what can we really do? Let's go ahead and start with gold. That's a good question. I have a gold sell on. Am I safe? Well, I mean, you've taken an interesting position, Mohammed. This is one of those that we sort of really had a strong recommendation of selling right up here, right around 4,000. That trade's still in play. Had a crazy day yesterday, sort of a real nice test of that all-time high, and then a big sell-off. Right down to our 38% level Fibonacci, and we bounced off of that. So if you were short this market, I don't really hate the trade. It's just understand that you're going against the grain. You're definitely taking a counter trend position. That can be problematic in a number of different ways. For me, I'm looking really to bid this market again from 38, 20, 27 to 25. I think that is a really, really strong trade down there to the top side. But what we're starting to see is this market load up. And what that is that's just basic compression. We had a nice run. I mean, the daily chart for gold is just a fantastic uptrend going back to about the 20th of August. So September was an amazing month for gold thus far. October's been a little slower. That shouldn't surprise anybody. We see a lot of market corrections in October. But if you do look at that pullback zone, somewhere right in there, probably 27. I would rather be on the long side bidding this. But let's say you had a sell position on right now. Can we find any reason to really have a sell? Well, I mean, it is what it is. You had a nice big plunge on the 2nd of October, which was yesterday, and now we're just going sideways. So if you're holding shorts, I would be tentative, especially going into the weekend. I don't know, what exactly you're looking for a profit target. You may just be looking for an intraday trade. If you're doing that, I really don't have a problem with it. Just stick with your strategy and your risk management. But as far as gold goes, I'm still very bullish. You can see that this level right here is a beautiful thing. I mean, take a look at that. That 27 level, 38.27. We took a shot right there yesterday and went right down. That low was right to 38.25. That's what we drew up. That was a playbook we drew up in the sand, 38.44. I mean, that's a $20 pop. Bam. I mean, that's fantastic trading. I absolutely love it. So there's a lot going on here. I'm bullish gold, but if we do get the sell-off, and we certainly could, Muhammad, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that your trade won't work. We could get a market driver to take us down here again, but that's where I want to bid from. So if you're maybe a smart money concept trader, I personally am not an SMC trader, but what they would say, what a smart money person would say is, okay, there's your stop hunt, and there's your liquidity sweep, and then we got the rally from there. So this area right here would be support, and I'd say, yeah, that's largely because of the 38.25 level, the bullish trend, and that Fibonacci retracement zone. That's a big time trade. I'm willing to hit that again. I think that's pretty good stuff. I really do. Steve France, it's good to see you. Steve, welcome. If you, once again, any questions at all, this is a great day for it. We're going to go over some of the fundamentals that are dropping later today. I also want to take a look at a dollar CAD trade in the US 100. We've got a fantastic situation setting up that's compression in front of a key number. So welcome one, welcome all. Let me see Luce out of Uganda. Good to see you, Luce. Welcome. Let me see news, infix. How does unemployment affect rate cuts? Well, I mean, essentially what happens when it comes to unemployment is when unemployment goes up, typically you see rate cuts come into play, more rate cuts. And I can go ahead and show you the charts here in just a second. But what that means is when the jobs gets bad, when there's no more jobs, and that seems to be the talking point today. I'm going to show you some headlines that are completely irresponsible, but I'm going to show them anyways because they do illustrate what the narrative is in the market right now. When unemployment goes up, you get more rate cuts. That's the bottom line. So we'll cover that in just a second. All right, welcome to the Switch Markets community. If you guys want to trade any of these things that we're talking about today, remember you do so at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you some of the plays out of my own playbook, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to trade anything really under the sun, head on over to Switch. Switch Markets is not available towards American clients or those of us in the United States. So if you need a broker and if you need me to point you in a place or maybe give you some ideas of people that I've done business with in the past, reach out to me, howtotrade.com. Go in, log in, get your free account, send me a private message, and I'll be sure to get back to you and give you as much input as I can. I'm here to help, guys. I'm here to help. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to make you rich, but I am here to help you. And, we had a couple losses earlier this week that surprised me. Still turned $1, though. We had some winners. The US 100 is a big winner. So let's go ahead and break that down here in just a second. So remember, Switch has been an award winner. This is probably the last day we're going to show this slide, but definitely won some awards. Best MT5 broker, best trading experience, best partnership program. So really an interesting time at Switch. A lot of people are really excited, and I'm excited too. They really do want to provide value to the trader, and that's you. And part of the value are these live streams and the ability to interact with a veteran trader and maybe ask any questions that you'd like. So if you're shy and you're worried about asking a question, don't be. Don't be. That's what we're here for. Okay, trade update. This one we put out, I don't know, what was it? A few days back, I believe it might have been last week even, when we started to see 2,500 on sort of the front burner for the NASDAQ. And essentially what this trade was it was a short sell from just beneath the key level. Now, if you guys have missed the key level videos that we've put out in the past over at How to Trade Calm YouTube, go ahead and check those out. There's one in there specifically. Just go in there and search key levels and you'll find it. Some people have watched it. It's probably one of the more important videos that I feel like I've ever done because it speaks to what the market is and what trading is. And in a nutshell, what trading is finding out where buyers and sellers are going to be and understanding what price is likely to do at that point. Now, believe it or not, all these fancy platforms and all the tote boards and the candlesticks and all the, everything that we do is based on the idea of an auction. We're having an auction, okay? Well, when we have an auction, how do we buy and sell things? We buy and sell things according to if we believe they're overpriced or underpriced. If they're underpriced, we buy them. If they're overpriced, we sell them. Well, it's not enough to just say, okay, do I believe the NASDAQ's overpriced at 24,432? It's not necessarily that we believe it's too high or too low at that level. It's not really an attention grabber. People aren't really looking at the NASDAQ. Now, when the NASDAQ, the US 100 comes up on 25,000, the whole world's looking at it. They're saying, geez, it's a big tech's on the rally. We're at 25,000. Are we overbought or oversold? That's what happens at key levels. Everybody in the markets and out of the market sits there and says, okay, let me put my thinking cap on. Should I be a buyer or a seller from 25,000? Well, we know the trend's up. So we had a pretty good idea that we were going to test 25,000. This was a pretty good trade idea. This was a 24. We had 24.9 in a quarter sell, which was a pretty good area right there. So your high right there was 24,987. We went right up to 25,000. But the beauty of this trade is on the 30-minute chart, you can see exactly what we had. This is where we got our entry. And I was really happy with that entry. I'm very, very pleased with it. That high right there was 24,946. We had 24.9 and a quarter, 24,925 shorts. Back against 25,000. Felt pretty good about it. Got an immediate plunge. We really got that's a big sweep. A lot of folks would say that's a liquidity sweep, and this in here would be a fair value gap. I don't know. That's what the kids are saying these days. I just call that a sweep. That's when people get involved, and that's a big-time sweep. Why did that sweep occur? Why did everybody sell right there? That was right on yesterday's U.S. Open. So we had a rally. We had a pre-market rally during the London overnight that took us right up to the cusp of 25,000. And then what happened? Volume entered the market. Volume, absolutely a huge driver of price. Without volume, we don't have any price movement. Volume comes in and slams the market. Always be on the lookout for those things. Understand your market timing. Understand when the Wall Street Open is, when volume is going to enter. That was a great trade, guys. We had an opportunity to get short before volume entered the market. We had a pretty good idea where price was going. It went right down, I believe, within a point of our profit target, which was about 200 ticks away, 200 points away, 2,000 ticks away. That right there is a fantastic trade. Now, since then, we've rotated back up and tested this area, and now what we've got is a situation where this trade is sort of right around break even now. So when we look at a broader picture of what's happening here in the U.S. The U.S. 100, the NASDAQ 100, we've got a compression pattern going. And when we look at compression, what's happening now? We're loading up. We're loading up and we're doing business in front of 25,000. The entire world is looking at 25,000. Once we break this, and I believe we will, I don't know how deep the retracement's going to go. This was a beautiful thing. Should have already got paid on this. If you didn't and you're still in there short, I don't hate it. Just be aware of what happens at 25,000. If you break above that, you got to get out. You got to get out because there are no rules on how high this market can go. There's no rules. Once we break 25,000, then we will be looking to buy retracement levels. We may even be looking at a 920 EMA crossover to get long because there are no rules on how high this thing can go. No rules at all. Jeanette, good to see you, Jeanette. Welcome. I'm confident everything's going well down under. I think that it's a great day to trade, even though we don't have NFP, and NFP is not going to be on the front burner for today. Government shutdown. Government shutdown. I might as well reiterate it again for everybody that's brand new to the stream. Government shutdown right here. What do you got? You've got a situation where there are no Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers out. Now, what did we expect today to happen at NFP? First-time job hunters' college degree isn't unlocking the opportunities it just did. Private payrolls declined in September by 32,000. Key ADP report amid shutdown data blackouts. So what does all this mean? Trump administration puts a hold on $2.1 billion Chicago infrastructure projects. All of it suggests economic contraction. So right now, if you're trading according to headlines from the mainstream media, which I do not recommend it, you're being painted a picture of a very, very ugly jobs market. Okay, so what that means, to answer the question that was asked to me just a little while ago about unemployment, what happens when unemployment goes up? Essentially, you're caught in a position where unemployment's up. That means that what? There's less jobs. That means that what? The economy's contracting, right? So you're going to get rate cuts in an attempt to grow the economy. That's it. So as things get worse and worse and worse in the jobs market, you're going to be looking for more and more and more rate cuts to try to stimulate economic growth. Remember, the Fed only has two things that they have to do. The Fed doesn't have to take care of you. The Fed doesn't have to give you a house. The Fed doesn't have to do anything really, but apparently they buy multiple properties on their own and commit all sorts of mortgage fraud. We know that. Okay, what do they have to do, though? There's only two things the Federal Reserve or any central bank has to do. Number one is promote pricing stability. That means keep inflation under control, near their 2% target. The second one is to promote maximum employment. Maximum employment means that everybody that wants a job needs to get a job. Okay? So that's the idea behind any central bank, and that is what promotes sort of a quality of life in your country, in your jurisdiction, whatever. Are they doing their job at the United States Federal Reserve? I argue they're not, because pricing stability is way out of control since COVID. They haven't been able to put the rabbit back in the hat since unlimited quantitative easing. That's a talk for another time. Okay, let me see. We got a bunch of questions here. I want to go ahead and answer as many as I can here. And then we're going to cover gold. We got another trade idea up for the Canadian dollar. I want to show that one because that one hasn't gone yet. And then I want to talk crude oil and gold and any other market you guys want to talk about. We definitely need to look at some Forex pairs, maybe trade some 920 crossovers here. Right now, though, the volatility, what are we getting? Not really much volatility at all. All right, let me see. Nat Niles, good to see you, Nat. Welcome. Let's see. Yes, I have a question. What is the purpose of our life, Shane Vernier, and why are we here? I love it, Nat. The purpose of life. You want to know my honest opinion on that? I'll give it to you if you want it. Do unto others. Try to live a good life, a quality life. Don't get caught up in this money and this. Don't get caught up in the money and the cars and the private jets and everything that promotes is greed. Greed is promoted on us every single day. Avoid that. Try to live a good life. Do right by your family and friends. Do right by strangers, but also protect yourself, protect your loved ones, protect your assets. I think that's the meaning of life, is just to be a rock solid and try to do some good before we leave. I think that's really what it's all about. The money and a lot of people are searching for fortune and fame and all that jazz. Forget that. Forget it. If it comes to you, great. Do good with it. That's what I would say. Golden rule. I would say that's the purpose of our lives, to live the golden rule. Do unto others as you want to be done on, as you want done unto you. I think that's a pretty good place to go. As far as spirituality and stuff, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You got to choose your own way there. But I think as long as you're a rock solid person and try to do your best. And doing your best is important too, living up to your potential. If you challenge yourself each and every day with those tenets, live a good life, do unto others, live up to your potential, I think you've done a pretty good job by the end of it. That's my opinion. Do right by your family and friends, and also protect yourself and your family and your friends, your loved ones. Protect your assets too. Don't just give things away. That's what I would say. Any thoughts on NFP today? TJ sends, NFP's not happening. We already covered that twice. Let me see. Isaiah, can I get a Switch account? I'm in Nigeria. Absolutely. Check it out. Head on over to the website. It's got a big list of municipalities, switchmarkets.com. They will get you up and running with a free demo in just a few minutes, so you can be up and trading on MT4 and MT5 in just a few minutes. That's for sure. Let me see. Isaiah, what's your bias on gold? Yeah, we're going to cover gold here in just a second. When did they announce? Time. TZ Zone, no NFP today. No NFP today. Chebex, no NFP today. Let me see. TJ, what's your trading strategy? I trade Fibonacci retracements, and I also am really looking at those crossovers. That 920 EMA crossover is a pretty good one as well. Let me see. Gwen, is it an all-in buy? You're buying gold, huh? Well, most people are right now. It's not a bad way to do it. Is there an NFP today? Agosa, no. Anthony, absolutely. They've postponed it. Let me see. TJ says, what do you say about these flashy lifestyle traders? What do I say about them? 95% of them are lying to you. That's what I say about them. BS. I call BS on most of them. I know a few of them, but I call shenanigans. Remember, a trader, typically you wind up living an interesting lifestyle. You go through periods of really when everything's locked and dialed in and you feel great and you're making a lot of money. And then you go through periods where things aren't so great. And the lifestyle traders are going to sit there and tell you they make $50,000 or $100,000 in a week. And some of them do. Some of them do, but they also came in with a lot of money. So don't think that. I mean, listen, it's out there. There's folks that have started with 5 and 10,000 and have run it into the millions or hundreds of millions. Ed Sakota, some of the real legends of the game from back in the 80s and the 90s. A lot of those folks, they're still around, but they started with very small amounts of capital and they ran them into huge amounts of capital, and that's great. The lifestyle traders that you see on YouTube now, come on. You don't see me doing that. You see me pretty much in front of the screens in the office. That's absolutely what do I say about lifestyle traders? Good luck. If you want to be like that, hey, listen, a lot of you are very young, and that's absolutely fantastic, and I love that because you got ambition and you're young. When I was young, I will tell you that that's what I wanted to be. I mean, I remember I was working construction. I made some money early in life, which was fun. I made a little bit of money there, so I went and bought a new car. And I mean, I was driving to Las Vegas 3 or 4 times a year just to try to play the role because I wanted to be a big Vegas player. That's what I wanted to do. And I was there, and I was playing and gambling, and I had some ups and some downs. And eventually I found out that it just isn't worth it. And I didn't know anybody that was winning doing what I was doing. So it was time for me to find something else to do. And that's part of what brought me here. Not all of it, but part of it. Let me see. Why is there no NFP today? Brisk property. We had a government shutdown. How long have you been trading for? 15 years, since 2011. I used to say 10 years, but now it's almost 15, so it's going to be 14 years. Unbelievable. Let me see. Sharp, you're absolutely right about these flashy traders. They are pathetic. Listen, there's a lot of things they do, a lot of tricks that they do to try to convince you. And listen, guys, it's across all gamuts. I mean, a couple of the areas that they have on your social media is really difficult. Influencers, fitness influencers, financial influencers, psychological influencers, philosophical influencers. Everybody's painting a lifestyle that doesn't exist. Believe me, if you can go into these markets and make a few $100s every day, you're doing very, very well, and then you just level up from there. Lifestyle traders, I don't believe it. We'll talk about it. All right, guys, here we go. Okay, let me see. Henry OP, the non-farm employment change was moved to Friday the 10th. As of right now, that's the first I've heard that, Henry, but fantastic. If that's the case, that's great. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get back to the trading. We got to do some trades here. U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar is on the move. Resistance level in view. This is one that I'm looking to sell the 140 level. Will we get it? Wrong button. Will we get it? Potentially. 38% is right up there at 140.17. Nice big Fibonacci retracement. There's a pullback zone right there. So I'm looking at topside resistance right around 140.09-ish is the entry here. That might not be aggressive enough. But we're going to go ahead and let that one sit. The reason why we're seeing this bullish price action out of the dollar CAD is because of WTI crude. And this is one of those markets that I've sort of been harping on, the bearish. Don't worry, guys, the dump's coming, the dump's coming, the dump's coming. We tried to get in on it in the U.S. oil market, the breakout beneath these lows, these monthly lows, just to blow this chart way up. Now, you'll notice there's no indicators on the chart. This is just all price action and understanding what key levels mean right there. What it was at. That was August low, September's low. September traded inside of August, and now you're getting that breakdown right in time for fall seasonality. That's a beautiful setup to the short. I'm looking to short. Right here, your daily chart. You're starting to see this on our futures contract. This is November crude oil futures, WTI crude oil futures. And right here, what do you have? You have a real beautiful daily chart. You've got a low that was established yesterday after a big dump right around 60.40. We're looking for compression right around $60. And I think once we get the dump under 60, it goes down right down to probably your 55 levels, 56. But anywhere from 57.50 to 55, it feels like it's the time of year where you're going to get that. Now, we're fighting a few market drivers that are bullish, that sort of are holding up crude oil, in my opinion. Number one's the rate cuts. Okay, a dovish dollar is going to lead to what? Higher commodity prices. I know I'm moving fast, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with moving fast. You can always watch these streams again. In any case, dovish dollar, higher commodity prices, right? Well, there's also geopolitical uncertainty and domestic uncertainty here in the United States. We do have a government shutdown. That is uncertainty. Okay, we've also got rumored armed incursions against Venezuela. That's kind of one of the stories that we're going to cover going into the weekend here that we need to be aware of. That could potentially spike crude oil as well. So there's still a case to be said that you could get a pullback in crude, but I'm still a net seller. I'm looking to sell 62.66s, 62.60s, 62.50s. Yeah, that's a pretty good sell. We probably can't pass on that. But now the opportunity really to get this dump going down to 55 is very much in play. U.S. oil, pretty much the same thing. If you wanted to go down to the daily, prices are a little bit different because if these CFDs are like a continuation contract, meaning you're probably going to get a little bit of price inconsistencies because they're tracking different contracts as they move along. So right now we are tracking that November WTI futures contract. So if you do get a pullback right up there, 62.70-ish, yeah, you're probably looking to sell 62.50 to 70 on the WTI crude. That's where you want to be. Gold. All right, guys, I've held off long enough on gold. So gold is a fascinating market. It's one of those that everybody in here trades. I would be shocked if we had a trader in here that doesn't trade it. My views toward gold are relatively simple. 4,000 is your next big round number up for debate. Relatively certain that we get there. I don't see any reason why we won't get up there. We're looking to trade from just to the short of that. So I believe what's our actual trade at? Let's blow this thing up and have a look so we can read it. But we're looking to get short right around that 90. Let's see, right there. Right around 39.82-ish, somewhere in there. It's going to be your short, somewhere in that zone. Check out our trade ideas over at howtotrade.com. It'll give you the exact write-up, but we're looking to short right in front of there, right 39.89, something like that. And we're looking to stop ourselves out if we get a clean break right above it, and then also we're looking to take a little bit below it. So what we want to do here is we want to understand that we are in a very bullish market. And I know we're on a monthly chart, and we're going to take it right down to the shorter time frames. But this is a pattern that I looked at forever, and literally all summer long was this flag. Let's move our trend line over just a little bit. It's a bullish flag. Okay, so what you have here is what? Nice big uptrend on the monthly. That's a long-term uptrend, right? Compression all summer long. What is that? May, June, July, even August was compressed. And then you finally got your break in September. That was a pennant formation. That was a flag formation. You know, I'm not the best artist in the world, believe me. They don't pay me to draw things. But something like this, nice big break. So from that perspective, we have to recognize that we're in the midst of an incredibly bull market here for gold. What do we want to get accomplished here? I want to get long any way I can, but I will scalp right in front of 4,000 to the short, just like we did against 25,000. These big round numbers and these key levels, man, you don't get many chances at them. You got to be aggressive up there, at least from my point of view. I can't tell you what to do as a trader. I can just tell you what I'm going to do. So for right this minute, if we're waiting on 4,000, we can't because, it may not come. It may not come into play at all. I'm relatively confident, 90% confident that it's going to come into play. What can we do right now to trade? Do we want to be long or short? Okay, there's a 4-hour chart. That's a really difficult area to make a trade, meaning you had a big dump yesterday, and now we're moving sideways. You've got a 4-hour moving average, 13-period EMA right there at 38.57. And that may or may not be, valid support for much longer. You can see we're starting to break out higher, 38.70. What is our all-time highs? You've got a double top that was established this week, 38.95. And what do you got? 38.96. So now we're sort of messing with the 39 level. Do we break above 39? Probably, more than likely. So if we do go up and take out that double top area right there, you're probably going much higher, probably right up to 4,000. Now, how would I trade this right this minute? I would go back down to that daily chart that we talked about earlier today. Really loved this trade that came across for us yesterday. I would hit it again. I have no problem getting involved again from this Fibonacci retracement zone, which is right around 38.28, 38.27. Dial it in exactly. But this area right in here, 38.28 to 38.25, pretty good zone to be a bidder from, be a net bidder. Now, you can see the market is moving higher right now with gold. Is there any other way that we can trade besides all the levels I'm throwing at you? There's a million different ways to trade. Let's try one of our other ones that's one of my favorites. I want to thank everybody that came to the 5-8-13 scalping session yesterday. We had a big winner on the NASDAQ. It was fantastic. But right here, this is our 920 EMA crossover. Okay, our 920 EMA crossover, what does that mean? It means when the 9 EMA, the red one, crosses the blue one, our 20 EMA, we're going to buy right there on the first bar close. Now, This is our coded strategy. I've covered this a lot in live streams. A purple bar means sell. A gold bar means buy. This is something that we coded in one of our videos from How to Trade YouTube. Go on over, check it out. It's called the 920 EMA coded using AI, and we actually used ChatGPT to code this thing. And what we did was we got a purple bar on a cross under, a gold bar on a crossover, and the area between the moving average is shaded. That's absolutely huge. So if I was trading gold, according to this on an intraday basis, right there going into the London Open, we had a bid. We had a buy signal. That's fantastic news, right? We're going to buy going into London? Absolutely right. What's happening now? You've got a big bullish run. You do. I mean, you're starting to see this market break to the bull. 38.60, you're already up $10. Where would your stop loss have been? Beneath this swing low, 38.37. So you're on your way. The trade would have looked very simple, very, very simple. It would have been one of these. There would have been your entry. There would have been your stop loss. And this is stuff we go over on our live webinars. And then there would have been your profit target, this liquidity sweep right up here. Interesting. It's starting to really work now. So if you're short gold, I'm pulling for you, but know when to pull the plug on your trade. Don't let this thing take all your money. You're in a bull market right now. A lot of indicators are saying move higher, higher, higher. Interesting stuff. Let's go to a 4-hour chart on gold. I want to see exactly what's happening on this 920 crossover on the 4-hour. Nothing. I mean, we were told by this strategy to go long back on the 19th of September. It's been a good one. That initial 4-hour long from 36.84, I mean, you're up almost $200. That's a good trade. That's a very good trade. So, from a basic macro perspective, probably long gold is the way to be. I'm a long trader. I want to be long. I don't want to be short metals in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be short metals. Let's take a look at silver. Silver's already up another 1.6%. We talked a lot about silver in the past several weeks because it's just been an explosion. You can see it really had the same type of signal back here on the 19th of September in the middle of the night, my time, and that was the bid on silver, 42. Now you're up to 47. I mean, that's a staggering rally. Really, the predictor was this 920. We also just sort of timed the market just perfect. And what do you have right here? We're trending, guys. What was the big idea with this market? 50. Remember, I pulled this market just an absolute ton. Let's go back to this right here and pull. No, I don't have it on that one. Let's go right here. Let's pull our silver market on our Fibonacci retracements. This is it. I mean, this was sort of our big game plan for silver. What do you have? Key levels at 50, all-time high. Your all-time high right now is 49.81. When was that established? That was established back, getting your way back machine. That was established back in 2011. I was a much younger man in 2011, but the times were hard, guys. Times were hard in 2011. It was a deep recession, global financial crisis of 2008 to 2012 really shaped who I am as a trader and why I trade the way that I do. That crisis was absolutely, oh boy, that was a rough one. But what you had here is you had a situation where silver was at panic proportions. You were in a market panic, no question about it. We're right back up there now. I mean, we are going to 49.81. We're at 47.76. Be ready. Be ready. Now, typically I would advise, or I would be looking to sell silver right in front of that key level of 50. It doesn't get any bigger than 50. Everybody in the world knows about $50 silver. I mean, everybody. What do we do at 50? This is one key number that something in my gut says you might just get a clean breakout right over it. Now, the reason why, because that all-time high is at 49.81. Everybody knows where that is. I've got to think there's a lot of stop losses, and I'm just guessing, and this is speculation, but it feels to me like that's where the short squeeze is really going to gain momentum. Right now, anybody short silver is a dead duck. Unless you're short from, 47 or maybe 46. You probably weather that storm. If you're still short from 40, you're a dead duck. But listen, a lot of hedge funds, a lot of governments. I'm not going to say that on this live stream, but there was a lot of institutional capital and a lot of governments from the Far East that were sort of keeping the lid on the silver market. They weren't necessarily talking about the true demand for silver. They were trying to keep those prices artificially low. That game's going to be over once the all-time high hits. It's already pretty much over, But still, I mean, there are people that said, okay, I'll short 40 and I'll put my back against 50, and then we'll just wait for a retracement in the next couple of years back down to 25 or 27 or whatever. Because theoretically, in a healthy financial environment, specifically in the United States, you're going to be looking at a big-time retracement in silver. Well, that's not happening. This is probably the short squeeze of all short squeezes. And if you're short over that all-time high gets hit, I got a pretty good feeling you're going to see a breakout up over 50. Now, remember, once we start making all-time highs, there's no rules on how high these things can go. Gold can go to $10,000 an ounce, and there are people out there calling for it at $10,000 an ounce. A lot of the big players said our new upside target's $7,000. Okay, that's great. How do we get there? I don't know. Nobody knows. They just think that metals are going to rally. Silver's a little bit different than gold. Silver's a semiconductor. It's very valuable in the new chip making space, in the new AI data center making space. So when we talk about what silver can do, silver's a much different situation than gold. And the last thing I'll say is that gold-silver ratio, the price of gold to the price of silver, has been around 100 for a long time, and it is shrinking rapidly. Silver's up to 47. Gold's at 38. So what are we down, about 80, 89, 85? I'm just doing the math off the top of my head. That's a big-time reduction in what we were looking at for the past, most of this year was right around 100. Gold-silver ratio is big as well. Silver's exploding. Silver's exploding. Let me see. Kevin, NFP, no. There's no NFP today, Kevin. Sorry. We've been over and over. That's all right. Let me see. Rafi, gold will buy anyways due to the U.S. down economy. It's not a bad play, Rahul. Yeah, that's for sure. Hello, Shane. Ahmed. Hello, Shane. I wish you a great day, and can you share your view for Solana? All right, I'll look at Solana. I noticed you have 2 YouTube channels. We actually have 3. Just be sure to check us out on Switch Markets. Check us out on Switch Markets because that's where we do our exclusive webinars, some of our live webinar things. We did one yesterday, so check out Switch Markets on YouTube. Let me see, Kevin, NFP. Yeah, no NFP today. When does the news come out? It doesn't come out. When are we expecting the NFP? We don't know. But I saw the 10th of October, next Friday, potentially. Let me see, Constant. I'm in buying gold now. I mean, it's not a bad play. Gold's moving higher, so is silver. Gray White, when do we hear about the news? Yeah, there's no news. No news. No news. So absolutely right. Let me see. We have a question right here from Bryn. Bryn98. Took me 4 years to learn this, but when I stopped trying to pick the top and just buy pullbacks on a trending market, my trading took off with some geopolitical and macro analysis as well. Yeah. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend till the bend at the end. No, you look for markets that are moving, like this silver market, for instance. Buy, and buy. No question about it. I mean, you just want to buy. Back when I was coming up, my mentor had a lot more money than I did, and he used to have a saying about markets like this. He goes, just buy it and walk away from it. Just buy it and leave. There's nothing to worry about. Let me see, Raul, 10th of Friday. Yeah, I mean, that's potentially what we're looking at here. One more story that we need to cover here. And we'll see if it's gaining any traction. All right, here you go. Venezuela slams presence of U.S. F-35 fighter planes spotted off the coast. Maduro warns the U.S. if Venezuela is attacked, we would declare an armed struggle. That's a month ago. Those are from a month ago. But what's happening right now? The United States has already sent troops down to the Caribbean, about 4,500 of them. And there's also heavy military assets in that region. A lot of folks believe that an attack, not necessarily on Venezuela, the country, but definitely on installations inside of the country, is imminent. Now, the thing about these attacks is when they happen, typically they come as a surprise, but their timing is no surprise. Typically, it's over a weekend. So, if Venezuela is hit this weekend, look for a bump in gold, or look for a bump in gold and silver. That's going to go up. And then also crude oil. Look for a little bit of a bump in crude oil. That's absolutely huge as well. It's just the way it is, guys. You got to be ready for anything on these geopolitical events. This is one. I mean, the F-35s, they could be using reconnaissance right there to cease thrill-seeking and warmongering posture. And it's all about the drug trade, essentially. The U.S. government, the current administration, has a major bone to pick with Maduro and Venezuela. They are in the region, and that typically signals geopolitical uncertainty, and those things happen over the weekend. All right, let's take a look at least 1 or 2 Forex pairs, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. Let's take a look at our 920 EMA crossover. Great Britain pound USD. What are we looking at here? Well, typically we're rocking. Well, we're not typically. Right there was your sell signal on the daily. That has not really developed or materialized just yet. Still not dead, but sort of interesting to be holding shorts. This is the trade I like, 130, 144, 300 pips down the queue, but still we have an opportunity potentially to make that trade a little bit later on in this month. So I'm watching that closely with the Great Britain Pound USD. As far as, your dailies, what can you really say about your daily chart? You got a sell signal on the 920. You probably could ride that a little bit. I wouldn't be betting too much on the U.S. dollar. I probably would rather be long this pair. I think that's a pretty good opportunity maybe to get long. Dollar yen on the 920. What do you got? You've got all sorts of stuff happening here. Let's go ahead and just get everything off the chart. What do you have? Daily chart. You got a crossover building on this 920. I think that could be the ticket. That could be the ticket. You say, Shane, what do you want to play? Do you want to play the dollar or do you want to play against the dollar? I would say in this pair specifically, if you do get that daily crossover to set up, it may give us an opportunity to catch a bit of a bearish break. We had a fantastic run on this one right here. This bid, a little bit of a pullback, and it exploded. We took some pretty good cash off of that a while back. This might be the same type of situation where we run at that swing low back on the 17th of September, 145.48. Interesting stuff. So I'd be looking at that right there. As far as Fibonacci's go, for your dollar yen, it's always one of our more popular pairs here because it's volatile. There's always volatility there. Something like this is interesting because you had a daily chart where we didn't get any love at all from our downside support. We had sort of a moving average there, and this market just fell out of bed. A lot of reasons for that. Government shutdown was one of them. But October right here, October's been definitely bearish. So what could we say? Do you want to be long or short this pair? 147.16, that may be a potential intraday long for you on the dollar yen. Something like this down here, though, isn't too shabby as well. And let's go back. Let's cursor back to our weekly. That's pretty much what you're looking at, sort of cutting really into this 2-week rally. And then down here, maybe 146.41. Not the best levels in the world. You can see exactly what happened here this week. Government shutdown definitely brought more uncertainty to the table. And you saw what happened. The dollar faded badly against the yen. Do I want to be bullish or bearish here? For years and years, we wanted to buy the dollar yen. Now, check out. Probably looking to the other side of it. It's been a rotational, ugly market. A lot of folks trade the dollar yen in the trading room. Be careful. Be careful. All right, Coach. NFP was at 8:30, guys. No, it wasn't. It didn't drop today. Let me see. Top movies clips. 38, 63, 33. Gold buy. All right, it's not bad. You gonna take the money? Pretty good trade. Jonix, I need help, guys. Jonix, head on over to howtotrade.com. Log in, get your account, check out all of our Academy videos, send me a private message. I can send you all of our resources available online. The first step is just to start learning before you dive into this game with real money. All right, everybody. So we've gone on plenty long enough. U.S. Open here in about 30 minutes. I don't know what to expect. This is a classic no donation Friday where you just don't. You don't need to be in there donating anything. We did have a question on Solana, though. I almost forgot. Let's see. Sol Futures, Solana. I don't want market cap. I want Sol USD. All right, we'll take a look at Solana, and that's a wrap. Right here you go. Interesting weekly kind of a chart. What do you think is going to happen here? You got 229. Pretty good valuation, really. I would be looking to buy pullbacks relatively strong. This market here just sort of really tanked out earlier, late 2023, and then we've seen a big rally here. Nice big sell-off. This is almost a Bollinger W right there. We haven't done one of those workshops in a while. But this right here, a nice big rally this week. You're up about 9%. The volatility is absolutely staggering. So what do you up 18%. What do you think we could do with it? What do you want to do? Do you want to buy? Do you want to sell? Probably I'd be looking at that as your key number, 300. Definitely this spike high back on the 13th of January, really the yearly high. Do we make a run at the yearly high? Could be. As far as I'm concerned, I probably would want to be long crypto just because we are cutting interest rates and the administration is crypto friendly. As far as what to do right now, oh man, it's sort of a tough formation. You're inside of last week's range. I probably would just go ahead and buy it. I would be looking to buy. Do we have a spike low there? Low's 204, low's 204 and a quarter, so maybe something like this. $223 bid. It's not bad. Maybe wait for 216 or 211. Excuse me, very early. That's how I would be looking at Solana. I mean, we could throw it on the 920 as well. Sol USD. Okay, I mean, right there, that's very instructive, isn't it? So now you've got the 920, the 9 EMA is in the process of crossing over the 20. Once you get maybe today's close, that would be your bid. How would you design this trade? Very easily. Stop loss, put it right beneath that swing low, something like that. You have options there. You could put it beneath your trigger bar as well if you want to play it really tight. If you want to take a position, though, you'd be looking to grab that low, right? Something like that. And then your profit target, it's got to be at least a 1-to-1. I'd be putting your profit target maybe somewhere right up in here. It's not a bad trade if you were looking to take a position and maybe get in on a run towards that 300 key level. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Let me see. Let's see right here. We got live chat. Bryn98, what do you think about Bitcoin recent rally? I think it's amazing. I won't say that we called it, but we've been bullish Bitcoin for a while. I mean, there's another daily buy right there on your crossover, Bryn. Is it time to buy? Do you buy Bitcoin from 118? Man, that's tough, isn't it? If you did, you're already up a few thousand. For me, I would step off. I would look to buy any pullback I could. As far as what to expect from Bitcoin, man, I really like we've been so bullish on this thing for so long. Let's pull up a monthly here and really take a look at the sort of the broader area. I mean, you could see the big green arrow doesn't lie, right? We were looking to really get that pullback to 105. Didn't quite get it. The low last month was 107.25. So, I mean, that's a legitimate buy from down in there. And now you're up to 120. Do you buy from 120? I mean, it really does look to me like you're going to make your next leg up. So get rid of the Fibonacci's. And what do you have right here? It's almost a pennant from here. Nice rally, nice compression. Where's the compression at? I love it because a lot of younger traders, and there's no right or wrong way to trade. I'm just showing you what I do. A lot of traders they laugh at the key level thing going, oh, come on. You don't know what you're talking about. If you don't think that compression right there wasn't about 110,000, then I think you're missing something. The high right up here is 124.5. So we've already tested 125. Now you pull back, you basically debated 110 for 3 months in a row, 90 days, and now we're leaving 110. 120, what do we think? All-time high, you've got to be aware of it right there at 124.5. What's the next stop? 125 even. I think you probably are going to be compressed in here a little bit for a few days, and then you're going to break out. What happens next? Well, I mean, 125, pretty much the next quarter handle up's 150, right? This market could blow. This market could really blow up over 125. So should I buy it or not? If you buy it, you've got to do it in a structured fashion. So you've got to find a strategy that's at least going to get you out if you're wrong. If you take this position on a derivatives market, let's say you're going to go ahead and bid. All right, let's say you want to bid. Maybe you get a pullback right here and you want to bid 118s. That's a tough position to hold, $10,000 on a derivatives market. It's not that bad on a cash market. I mean, you could take that, what is that, 10%, something like that? So basically you're betting that you're going to rally and break up over 125. Now, it's a higher risk trade because of the presence of 125 and the presence of that all-time high. But if you break above 125 clean and this thing times it, you're going high. You're going to 130 like that. That's my opinion. And is it worth the risk from 120 to bet 130? Really, that would be the bet right now. Do you buy 120s anticipating 130s, or do you buy 120s anticipating or in risk really a pullback beneath 110? I don't know. If I was doing it, I'd probably bid it. But I would also probably be patient and wait for a retracement. In trading, typically waiting's the right answer. Typically. You could easily get a 116 pullback here. That puts you in business. I mean, you got to be a net bidder from down here, I would think, looking for the big rally up over 125. And I mean, 130, 130, 132.50. Those are legitimate topside targets for the short term. They really are. The big problem you have is 125. When that level goes, it really goes. That would be my opinion. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. That's been long enough this morning. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Be sure that if you're watching and you're brand new, like and subscribe to whichever channel you like. We got 3 of them out there. We're also on X, and we're also, I believe, broadcasting on LinkedIn. If you want to follow a channel, the Switch Markets is where we're going to be putting all of our new content, the Switch Markets channel. So be sure to cruise on over there. We've got a lot of things dropping all the time. We've got all sorts of shorts coming out. We've got videos that are in production. That's pretty much going to be where the new content lives, as far as my new YouTube content, where that's going to live. So be sure to check that out. Also, tons of strategy stuff over on How to Trade Com YouTube. Be sure to head on over and check that out. All right, everybody. I hope you had a great NFP time, even though we didn't get any NFP drama. I'll keep you posted. We'll be watching that closely to see when those jobs numbers come out. But I'm not sure, and I don't think anybody is. So we got to be aware. We got to stay frosty, stay flexible. Absolutely, you guys are absolutely welcome. If you have any questions at all, howtotrade.com. Look me up, send me a PM. I'll get back to you in short order. And that's about a wrap from here, from the Non-NFP Live. Absolutely, you're welcome, Jeanette. Have a fantastic day. All right, guys. As always, trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See you.